Hello guys and welcome to this video. Now I really couldn't let this one get shipped without sharing it with you guys on YouTube. Every now and again I build a watch for a private client which I like so much that I just have to stop, make a YouTube video on it and share it with the world. I believe this is probably the first one of its kind, and I was really excited to try this design. I've done something similar before with the white dial, but never this black original Seiko Arabic dial in this Namoki black base style 39mm case. So if you're new here, I build watches here in Dubai. My website is SBK Watches. Welcome to my YouTube channel as well. I use part suppliers such as DLW, Watch and Style, Namoki, and I do make some tutorial videos as well. So you might have seen those on my channel. You can actually watch a tutorial video on building a watch similar to this. That's the black base style Namoki case, and I'll show you a couple others as well, but I really wanted to share this particular example because of how clean it came out. So what we've got here is Seiko's original black SNKP21 Arabic dial. So it's a nice glossy black dial. There's no lume on the dial at all. We've got some black dates discs, so we've got a screw down crown as well. I'm just going to move the hands so it's going to be a bit clearer. There we go. And a really nice winding action. That's an NH36 movement inside, and of course a screw down crown. So this case I believe is rated to 200 meters, but you can just double check that on Namoki's site. The dial does say 50 meters on it, but that's because it came from an originally a totally different case. You can find that one on my website as well. So we've got a box type sapphire crystal, reminiscent of the Black Bay, of course. We've got a really thin coin edge bezel, again similar to Black Bay. This larger size crown with no crown guards. Like I said, this is the smaller size case. Usually Seiko Mods are much bigger at 42 and above. This one's just 39, and the proportions are really, really nice. In fact, in my other video on this case, I compare it to an actual Tudor, which really surprised me in terms of the quality, fit and finish. It's like 10 times cheaper, but of course it's surprisingly good when it's in your hand. Now, you can see it's got a rivet bracelet, Namoki's clasp there. This one's still a bit stickered up because it's going to get shipped off soon. And big thanks to Logan, by the way, for ordering this. And I didn't actually tell him I'm making this video, but I'm sure he'll appreciate it nonetheless, having his watch featured, because it is a really nice design. So basically what I've done here is I've got hold of the original dial, I've put it onto an NH36 movement and adorned it with these Mercedes style hands. You can find these parts from Namoki Mods as well. There'll be a link in the description. We've got a black Arabic day wheel at 3 o'clock along with a black date to match it, and the chapter ring's already integrated. We've got the sapphire crystal already part of the case, so this is a lovely case to work with. We've also got a ceramic bezel insert. Now this ceramic bezel insert is in fact loomed, so over on the right you'll see a lovely loom shot of this, and that comes from DLW. DLW makes some of the best quality bezel inserts, especially the loomed ones. So you can have a look at their site for that as well. Now it's worth pointing out these bezel inserts are actually made for an SKX 007. So there are thousands of options out there. DLW have got a great range, Namoki have got a good range as well. So you're never stuck for designs. The case set as well comes with the bracelet, the crown, the crystal, and a plain case back. That's from the Namoki Mods, and the bezel before you put the bezel insert in. That one, that comes as a set, so it's actually quite straightforward to mod this, but of course you may struggle to find a rarer type of dial like this one. Now I'm just going to flip it over and we can see the movement in there. We decided to add a sapphire slim case back to this, which I think looks really, really nice. Always great to see the movement even though it's not decorated. And this is a Seiko NH36, probably branded TMI, I believe there. You can just about see it, but still made by Seiko, just for third-party installation. Really nice, guys. It sort of reminds me of like a classic sub style. So I know the Tudor Black Bay is kind of that anyway. The Tudor sub, it is a more vintage sort of look, but then with the loomed parts, it really brings it into the 21st century. And yeah, I love this. I think it's great. I just wish it was a bit bigger so I could make myself one. It is a smaller case size, so it really doesn't fit well on my wrist, but most others, of course, will love this, because most of you guys tend to have smaller wrists than me, and I will show you a wrist shot right now. So there you go, guys. That's it on my 7 3/4 inch wrist, or it might be about 7.5 nowadays. I have lost a little bit of weight, but still, to me, this definitely looks like a smaller case watch. I am used to wearing the actual Tudor 41 or Seiko Mod's sort of 43 and above. So usually my sweet spot's 43. I think I can get away with it, surprisingly, because the bezel is actually the same size as an SKX. It's just the whole case is sort of slimmed down a little bit. It does still wear reasonably thick. I'm not sure of the measurement, but it is, I believe, I'm going to say about 14 from my last video. The reason for the thicker case on most Seiko mods is the movement thickness. There's not much you can do with that. Pretty much all Seiko watches tend to be a little bit thicker. With this one in particular, you've got the protruding sapphire, which of course kind of helps in that if you ever knock it, it's probably going to knock the top of the glass and not your bezel or bezel insert so much. That was Tudor's sort of original idea there that we've borrowed, but I think it's worth it. It definitely doesn't feel uncomfortable, and with a more average wrist size of about 6.5 to 7 inches, you'll probably be just right with this size. So what do you think, guys? I think we hit it out of the park with this one. Really clean looking watch, vintage sub style with a modern twist. Great material, sapphire ceramic, stainless steel, good quality parts, you know, a workhorse movement, everything you could want in a watch. And better still, it's even got quite a rare Seiko dial. These aren't always that easy to find, especially the part on its own. If I was to make another one, there is a chance I would need to buy the entire Seiko watch in order just to get the dial out of it. So this can make the cost go a little higher, but please direct message me on Instagram, email me and so on. I'll have a look on my website. I may well post this as an option to pre-order. And of course, I'm more than happy to build these just because of how good it looks. So let's have a look at a couple of the watches which are sort of similar in terms of the dial at least. So here we have two DateJust style mods. Now these cases come from Watch and Style, and I believe this one on the right is quite a new case. So the black dial here is the same as the one I've just showed you. That is the SNKP22. This one, however, is the other way around. This is the SNKP21. This is the SNKP22. Both Japan-made Seiko models originally, but of course they don't come with fluted bezels, they don't come with sapphire glass or Jubilee bracelets, and it's impossible to add those elements to their standard cases. So I often get asked for mods for these watches. The other slightly unusual thing with the base watches these come from is that they are large cases. They are 42 or even 43 millimeters. They've got this sort of stepped chaptering as well. Basically, they are a bit big for most people. I've had a go recently at actually transplanting those movements and dials into Seiko Mod Parts, such as Watch and Style's cases. In this case, we've got 40 millimeter size. We've got fluted bezels. We've got Jubilee bracelets with, if you notice, female end links. So these definitely suit a smaller wrist much better. I love fluted bezels personally, but you can get these in smooth as well. These have been quite sought after recently. I've had a lot of requests to build watches like this, and they are really good quality parts, guys. You'll see a lot of sellers on Instagram, in the digital world, basically selling something that looks exactly like a DateJust. It just has a Seiko logo on it. 99% of the time, that is a really cheap watch case from Watch and Style, from AliExpress. Watch and Style cases, on the other hand, are high quality, You know, the screws in the links are perfect. The crowns have got a super action. Everything's going to fit perfectly. You know, you're not going to be disappointed. So that's why, of course, and prices end up a little bit higher, but I trust my customers really agree that it is worth it. And you can read the reviews, of course, on my page as well. Now, I wanted to show you these quickly. So a couple of other options here. Now you can see they both look reminiscent of the DateJust style. We've got original Seiko dials. This one on the right actually features the standard handset and the standard movement. So this isn't a particularly tricky mod to do yourself. If you can find the original white Arabic dial Seiko, and you can actually buy one off my site as well, and you buy the case set, all you need to do is take one out of one and put it in the other, and you get this outcome. Now, the standard movement is not hand winding. We add a screw down crown, by the way, with the case, so nothing's happening in the first position. We can pull it to the third position and set the time. And, oh sorry, I should really cycle past that because the date's just changing, you can see. So to wind this watch, you really just got to wear it. This is the 7S26 movement that comes with the standard Arabic dial, but that does make it a more affordable option for quite a unique watch, especially when you keep the hands as well. Saves that work. On the other hand though, this one has, again, the same original Arabic dial, can be taken from the base watch, except what I've done here is I've upgraded the movement. So this is an NH36 now. You should be able to hear the whir of the gears there as we power it up. So you can hand wind this, and when you pull the crown, the second stops as well, which makes it a little bit easier to set a really accurate time. In terms of accuracy, by the way, both movements are equal. Power reserve, they're both equal. This one's just a little bit easier to get up to that power reserve because of the winding, of course. So we've got a screw down crown on either option, and I'll just show you the back of this one. So I can show you the clasp as well. So we do have a nice milled clasp on these. It's similar style to the Namoki Mods one. Screws for the links, by the way, as well, and this has the same sapphire case back as the Black Bay inspired one I showed you earlier, that sort of vintage sub style. This has got the same movement, same case back, whereas you can get a plain case back as well. So I'll show you that on here. So this is the same exact overall case model, just different colors, and you can see that is what standard plain case back looks like. Some people really aren't bothered to see the movement. Rest assured, it is the correct movement you order is always going to be in the watch from me, but I personally just like to see the movement most of the time. And of course, if you're interested in either of these, let's get them all three on the wrist. So any of these watches, most people are really keen to get one of these Arabic dials. I've seen a lot of orders for either style, the divers or the DateJust styles. Let us know which ones you like best, and of course let me know if you've got any questions or if you'd like to modify one of these further. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day. I'll see you next time.